5 levels to be played today with a 75-minute dinner break after the penultimate level of the day. This is level 19 of the main event. Blinds are 5,000, 10,000 with a 10K big blind ante. And we are dealing.
5 levels, and after level 4 is a dinner break.
Yeah, I already said all this. I guess the players need to know as well. The first hand of the day starts with an under-the-gun raise from Bekim Matezi with ace-queen. And this is the short stack, Martinson, with Jack-10 of diamonds.
Yeah, feeling a bit cheated here. This would have been just such a great little, shove for 4.8 big blinds. See if you can, maybe get it through, but probably get called and win a fair bit of the time. But once you face this under-the-gun open, know that you have no fold equity. But you know what? Instead of just sort of blinding through, I really don't mind it. Obviously, you're going to be slightly behind the under-the-gun range, but this is a kind of hand that can have live cards and do a lot of damage.
Look on.
How much?
Good luck, all in player. Well,
too much.
What a interesting question from 5-3 offsuit.
Well, Lin Jianwei's got a hell of a lot of chips, but yeah, 5-3, not a playable hand. Matezi, however, makes the call, so we are going to have an all-in on the very first hand of the day. Martinson behind, but live cards.
And a very live suit.
I want percentages. There we go.
Yeah.
Hey, the dealers are dealing like me now.
Ace high flop means things are not looking good for Sweden's answer to Wolfgang Poker.
And 9, king, queen, or 10, or he's done. Okay.
He's done. So we do see an elimination on the very first hand of the day, taking us down to 112 players.
I want to
Not as famous as Prague, which we will be later this year.
Indeed, 2 more stops. EPT 2024, Cyprus in October, Prague in December. Still got a few days to run on this Barcelona festival, though, as we see it's Vidzigar picking up the kings and raising to 20,000. It's Jacks. It's the James and Joe.
Again.
For Galbar.
Bad shape.
Yeah, they in big trouble this time.
60. What makes it 60,000?
3 bets to 60K. Round to Rania Nasreddine on the button, who's got 5 deuce of clubs. She folds. Lin Jianwei in the small blind, 10-6. Let's get on with it, please. Thank God for the 15-second shot clock.
Show me those folding eyes.
Nice.
Oh!
Oh!
Wow! Oh, no!
No way, Jinwei.
A cold
You dirty dog. You
from
got
a small blind with 10-6
You just
offsuit.
ran out of patience. Enough seeing the king 10 suited, someone 3 bets, you're folding it. Enough. I am putting my foot down. I came here with 1.3 million chips.
He's got the
hot.
The straight blocker.
Oh man, seeing these young European kids think they can just run around.
So this goes shove, fold, fold, right?
Yes. It goes shove, fold, tank, fold, because Jianwei haven't,
Yeah,
at this point, let's let's get the attention, make it look as a big fold. You don't want to snap dump.
Ironically, there's a saved bar.
Yeah. No, absolutely. He was playing for stacks.
Whoops.
No, look, in a way, a Jianwei.
How much?
No, come on.
Yeah. He's got to ask.
I guess he has to make it look good, right?
Yeah.
I can't talk over this. What if he calls? Let's just make sure he folds.
I mean, look, he's put out 185. It's 200,000 more to call. If he thinks the guy's got ace king,
there's no way he's calling.
It's a call. I mean,
if he calls, I'm walking out.
I'm gonna hold you to that for once. I want you to take at least 10 minutes. I'll take over. I'll pretend to be you.
390
people keep saying they're going to walk out, and then they never do.
No, no, no. If this guy calls it off with 10-6 here, I'm walking out.
How long are you going to gone for a while? I need at least 10 minutes
10
to really show how outraged you are.
Almost full.
You're too committed to your job sometimes.
James, if he calls with this,
Take the rest of the level off.
and if he calls with this and doesn't go broke, you have to leave the booth, go down, shake his hand, and then you can't come back in until it happens on stream.
I'm not going anywhere near the set.
Oh, you never want to have any fun. Oh
Whoa,
my God,
he's
he's
putting the
putting them
time
all
banks
out
in.
there. Let's go. This is the EPT.
Yeah, this is a 5K main event with a 1.5 million euro top prize, and this guy's deciding whether to call an all-in with 10-6 offsuit.
Cigar is just thinking, please call with your pocket jacks, man. Please call with your tens. Even call with your ace queen at this point. Let's go. Like, I'm ready to double up.
Oh, come on. Coward.
That was ludicrous.
Luda.
Ace queen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Ace queen. Yep. Sure. He should tell him. He just go 10-6 offsuit.
No,
10-6 off.
No, what would be great is if Cigar went 10-5. Well, actually, we're going over to the secondary feature table because we have got an all-in here. Ramon has shoved with 8s. Jeshka's got ace-king.
Follow that man.
If he gets the double up here, guys, we are singing.
I'm really upset because I love everyone on this table and I don't want any of you to go out.
7 fold.
What a darling.
Yeah.
Fold. 7 fold. All in a call feature.
I wouldn't be surprised
Bad
if
fight.
that man's in your phone
What is
by
that,
the end of the week.
51, 52, 48? What is the
Something
percentage?
around
You'll
there,
get that
yeah.
number.
Sounds about
I
right.
don't know these things. Ramon, what is the percentage?
50%, more or less.
50-50?
Basically 50-50, yeah.
I love both of you.
One's a slight mathematical favorite.
Oh, hey,
Like shirts versus skins.
But if you lose, you're almost out. And if he loses, he's... Oh, this is
What do you mean
You would
almost
just put,
out?
yeah, put
No.
the coin to see
No,
who
James,
it's,
for the
it's
viewers at
whatever
home.
happens is bad.
So
No,
you can
really. No, because one... Oh, yeah. Go for the chop, Don. Let's see a chop.
So far, so good for Ramon.
Yeah. And I was just going to ask
Doesn't
you,
look
James,
like a
about the
chop.
percentages pre-flop. It's rare to see ace king as a favorite, but that's a part of card removal, I guess.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. I love that.
You're PokerStars professional? Yeah.
So,
You're PokerStars
despite
professional.
having the pair, Coleus was actually behind by 4% here, and now has to dodge not just the ace
TV.
king, but a jack.
Yeah, 10 outs for Jeshka, 10 cards for Ramon to fade.
Come on.
Hope I remember the song.
Ah, we're not going to be singing because Ramon Coleus has been eliminated. We can no
Guys,
longer
it's really
follow
nice
Ramon.
meeting
place
you.
open.
You know, I
Unfollowed.
love the Spanish. And you are
Nick Walsh, if
the
you're
epitome
watching.
of a true gentleman.
He does ever lose.
Thank
Oh, you can see his eyes now.
He's a lovely man.
Cash is for 15.5K.
I feel like that's
swear to
almost
you,
Nick's
I didn't want
catchface
to
at this
whisper
point.
to you, but I thought it was-
This guy never loses.
Wolfgang Poker has been shoved on. A former EPT finalist, Dominicus Kamazinas, has shoved on him.
Calling range here.
The people's champ.
Wolfgang playing a time bank and deciding whether to call here.
Is that a Pokemon? Have we already gone over this? Looks like one. I'm too removed from the game. From far away, it looked like a Squirtle to me.
I've caught none.
You've never got a Pokemon? In your life?
Never.
James, you've got a Pokemon in your life, right?
I have no interest in that.
Come on.
Hey, there's the call. Wolfgang Poker all in and at risk. 10's the hand for Kamazinas. King 5, the hand for Wolfgang.
Yeah, I mean, King is going to be ahead of the range sometimes, but this is a bad board. Going to need a King on the river.
No king on the river, and that will end Wolfgang Poker's run in the EPT Barcelona main event.
Didn't realize he lost. How embarrassing. He'll be fine.
So heavily.
Back on the secondary feature table where Vitsiak has flopped another set. Savinkov with ace-king. Not sure the action up to this point.
One check.
Savinkov is checked.
All in.
5 all in.
Fitzoff jams.
1 fold.
Yeah, Mr. Vitziak's going to do it again.
Looks like Rania's going to open this pot. Under the gun with king 10 off. Ooh.
Yeah, and Rania has obviously shown a propensity to play wider ranges as the bigger stack, which is exactly what you want to do. And we do see a 3-bet here from Mr. Sinclair. Hijack at this stage in the tournament, though, we got to imagine this is actually going to be a pretty reasonably strong 3-betting hand. We can see the king of hearts there. You can imagine some king, queen, ace, king, that kind of thing. Maybe even some king, jack suited. She's just taking a look over at Sinclair's stack. 33 big blinds after. 33 big blinds after the 3-bet, Joe. And yeah, snap call. How much you got? Yeah, I want all of it. Thank you.
This is capricious.
This is egregious. No, I like it. And we're going to a flop. Queen, deuce, 7.
I say, I find this ruling to be capricious and arbitrary. Queen 7 deuce.
I object.
Sinclair with the biggest of kings. You can't give up now after you snap called the 3-bet.
Nah, I think you can.
I was being sarcastic.
I know, but the 45K into 180 is quite small, so we might actually see a float regardless.
That don't look like a float to me. That is a raise to 100,000.
When in doubt, click it back.
Your Honor, sidebar.
I hold myself in contempt.
Sinclair doesn't fall for it. I don't know if did Rania recognize it when he came over? Did they speak? Did they have an interaction? This is not a player I would try this against, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, you know, she's in the mix. She's in there battling. This is cool. Sinclair glances at his chips just then. I think he probably does want to find a bet here at this point. 307K behind and 380 in the middle right here, right now. So what's the line, Mr. Sinclair? Does check back in position, going to the river.
Another 7. Board has run out pretty well for ace-king to make a hero call. Rania is going to bluff this river for 150,000, not even half pot.
God, she looks so cool at that table, man.
Yeah.
She really is not giving anything away.
I would be freaking out if I were making this bet on this river against this player. I would be melting down. And when he flicked that chip in, that time bank card, I probably would have exposed my hand. I get so nervous when I'm bluffing that I just want to confess. I want to go, just call me.
I think that means that you're an honest person, Joe. You're somebody that doesn't like secrets between friends.
I really don't.
And so you know, it is natural to wanna be honest. I think that was another time bank. At this point, it must be.
I did see some motion, but I have not seen hold cards. I mean, good for her for the sizing, giving him some pause.
Queen 7.
And does get the fold.
Rania, you son of a gun.
I love it. She's just out there. I'm loving it. The king 10 pre-flop, the defend
like
pre-flop
ace
was
king for
definitely
you.
wider.
And she called his hand.
And she called his hand.
All right, a little bit of problem here for Kovalski. You cannot blame him for calling pre with the ace-queen, but just absolutely crushed against the ace-king of Shylko. And certainly, if this type of texture continues, just super dry, there's going to be quite a few chips that can go in here. Both players, strong value. And Shylko being pretty sneaky here with that check on the ace-high flop as the pre-flop raiser. You know, a lot of times you will get Kovalski just to go third pot here with anything, but he actually has a good hand, and I think if Shylko knew that Kovalski had as strong of a hand as he does, you know, he wouldn't have felt the need to maybe take this line. Very much just trying to trap Kovalski. And again, as I mentioned, you know, just wouldn't be surprising to see either of these players want to go 3 streets with their holdings. It just appears that Shylko is trying to take the line of trapping Kovalski and hoping that Kovalski is just barreling with air, trying to rep an ace. But in this case, Kovalski just has it. Shylko 380K back, facing 115K bet, just roughly a third of his stack. So you wonder if he's just going to want to put the rest in. Looks like he's just going to call and hope that Kovalski fires a third barrel.
Yeah. River card is a 10. Ace King still good.
Yeah, you know, you look at SPR and it's hard to imagine that Kovalski, even though maybe he thinks that the check call line sometimes will contain traps, it also contains, you know, jacks through kings. You know, it does contain some of those hands that might give up the betting lead on the flop, but not really willing to fold to the bets.
Ace king.
Okay, it looks like Kovalski does check back and saved himself some chips on the river.
Yeah.
Ay, Fabiano. All in. All in.
Listen, if Fabiano didn't have such a strong hand with so much showdown value, he might have.
Dropping, eh? Ah. Didn't expect it, right?
It's so good to be the only Brazilian in it.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, that's a good one.
Shylko now playing over 40 big blinds.
Orchid, kicking things off under the gun with Queen 10 suited. Song just flatting in the next position with jacks, afraid of that under the gun range a little bit. And maybe someone waking up with a bigger hand behind, like Sindra Hansen.
And you know, jacks play so well when you get into these spots where somebody feels like it's a tempting squeeze, seeing the raise and the call. And so, you know, Song doesn't even really hate this some of the time, seeing a 3-bet come out of the small blind, especially against, you know, this 37 big blind stack, right? I don't see Song folding jacks you know, he'd probably be willing to just get it in here pre-flop against that stack size. You know, if Hansen ever has 3-bet folds, it's just a nice pickup. Here we go.
Song ships it. Hansen sticks it. Hansen is the effective stack, but a big favorite.
You know, just a very unfortunate situation for Song. You know, against a deeper stacked opponent, maybe he just finds the call pre and, you know, sees what happens post, but just 37 bigs, it's just enough for jacks to feel comfortable moving in against.
Four, 9, 7. You just tell yourself you go broke in this flop anyway.
Yeah. You're like, what? There's no getting away.
No.
This hand was going to play itself.
Deuce of spades on the turn. 1 out for Song. 1 card to hit it.
Wow.
Oh my
the
goodness.
1 outer.
Wow, shoot.
Hansen ejected.
Steven,
Gross.
Good.
if you're gonna sell some action for higher tournaments, I'm first in the queue, okay?
Hansen is now handless.
Grody.
That's sick.
Even more brutal.
Dispatched in disgusting fashion.
Run out.
But
Poor fella.
Oh yeah, how?
It's like, sure, he had ace king.
We are now Syndra.
How much he had? Like 600? Or
Like,
That's
closer to
gross.
7.
Almost 8.
Feel for the
Was it
guy
almost
this deep.
almost 8.
Yeah, man.
Ow.
Dang.
Frickin' Joker
Anyway, you got my
stars.
number.
Steven Song now far and away chip leader, 176 big blinds.
Okay, so the plan is to make 3 million, sit out. To wait for final table. What do you think? Good strategy?
I was pretty sure.
3
No,
million
I
is not
had
enough for the
more than
FT.
that.
Hmm?
It's like half an average stack or something.
What I'm saying is like, so you build a stack 3 million and sit out.
Sit out.
For me, it's better. Fabiano should play for sure.
Kovalski gonna try to make it 2 in a row.
He's gonna meet some resistance from Matteo Orchid. Just calls. No other takers. All right, take it easy, Fabiano. They'll be here soon enough. 8-7-5.
Kovalski recognizes that Orchid's flatting range against his under the gun open is going to be pretty strong. You know, some of the hands are going to contain some overpairs to this board. Some sets are possible. Kovalski does have some equity there, looking at 2 overcards to the board with the gut shot and goes check on the flop. Who do you think is whispering to who?
I don't know.
Heck of a turn card for Kovalski. Backdoor flush draw now for him along with that straight draw. And now I think it's getting a little bit more clearer exactly what types of hands Orchid has, because, you know, you would imagine a hand like 9s or 10s are just going to go ahead and bet the flop. Sets are very likely to just go ahead and bet the flop as well. So it does feel like some of these Ace-X holdings, perhaps some suited Broadways, and some hands where, you know, Kovalski would be really happy to just pick up the pot right here. You know, he's not going to be beating some of these hands. like the ace highs, like the better suited Broadway combos.
Tray of spades puts the spade draw out there. And the 6 of clubs on the river makes a straight for Kovalski. Wait. Yeah, it's a straight.
Kovalski, you know, basically went pot on the turn. So now with the 4-liner out there, you wonder what sizing he's going to go for, considering Orchid seemed interested still on the turn.
Smooth move, Kovalski. Time banking. Went on the chonker side.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting spot for Orchid. He has a queen of spades in his hand, which is somewhat relevant, right? Because there are going to be some backdoor flush draws that are going to bet on the turn. And having the queen of spades, it's not great.
Can we just look at this from a very simplistic standpoint? Now, he is beating this hand that Kovalski raised under the gun with. But how many under the gun raising hands would he be beating?
I mean, not very many. I think what he's mostly confused about is the check on the flop, right? Which is why if you're Kovalski, you need to be balanced with your checks. Sometimes your checks will contain some hands like this. Sometimes you check with big hands like overpairs with the intention to check raise. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't have a big hand when you check the flop after you were the pre-flop raiser. But it just means that it causes a little bit of suspicion, I think, in Orchid's mind. And also, you know, it's about, will you go this sizing? Like, let's say you had a hand like jacks or something, or, you know, something even better. Do you bet this run out so heavy? I don't know.
Does hero. And Kovalski is going to pick up a nice pot. Profiting 415,000. Back to the main feature table. Ooh, 3 ways to this flop. 2 pair for Orchid. Pocket jacks do not fold. King on the turn. And Orchid is going to put the rest of his chips in, those 9 big blinds.
45.
Oh, not song with jacks again. You got no shot. You better hope he folds. No fold. 1 outer incoming.
Yeah.
It's more than this 1 out, but you got no shot, bro. Everybody say GG to Mateo Orchid. 7 outs, it's 6.5 more than Steven Song needs. He could still hit the 1 jack. That would be the best way to do it, please. If it's going to happen. I'm not rooting against this guy, but. River.
Almost counterfeit, but
Almost.
wrong pair.
Bowed it
Wrong
up for
pair.
Mateo, but that was a close one.
And it was a cooler. Aces against queens. The aces for Lin, queens for Rania. And suffice to say, no help for Rania on the flop, on the turn, or on the river. So that hand just before the break was how Lin Jianwei became one of the chip leaders, second in chips overall, and it has left Rania Nasreddine, who has been a big stack for most of the last 2 days, with just 210,000 chips. She now has just 10 big blinds coming into this new session.
Protect her at all costs. No calling. I'm running down to the floor now. I'm going to muck anyone's cards that tries to call.
Rania all in from under the gun. You may have seen we did have a shove at the main feature table just there, but there was no caller.
She got called here?
No.
Good. I mean, what would we do? Maybe we'd have to end the stream if she bust out. Would we do that? Would we show the remaining 2 days, James? Or if Rania is eliminated, is the stream just immediately goes down?
I think we did.
We end the tournament and declare ICF.
Well, no, when she finished third, I don't believe anyone finished first or second. We just ended it there.
I think you'll find, in the words of Frederick Mercury, that the show must go on.
Sure, but it's... I was going to make it... Still.
I like her. I like her thumb on her arm. Though.
Oh, she has been called.
Yeah, I thought so, yeah.
Okay, guys, let's hold.
She's live or she's ahead?
Okay, I don't want to. Okay, no king, no ace. Let's just hold.
Ace
Nines,
versus
nines,
ace
nines.
king. I
Four
believe.
nines. Four nines.
I decipher.
Four nines. Don't tell me if it's not four nines.
No, it's it.
I think she has nines then. If she's saying
Tell
four
me when I
nines,
can look.
because four nines would be bad for her if she had eights.
So it is a classic race. Nines against ace king.
Hold. Baby cards.
You know what? I'm using my one time. Hold.
Well, yeah. Seven.
then.
Seven.
Just say
Seven.
bye,
Six.
Rania.
Wow. Oh, baby, go. Let's go.
Stars nuts.
Okay. Okay.
It's
We
dead.
love it.
How do you flop them absolutely dead?
I don't know. That's hard to do.
That's
That's
very
classic Rania, though.
Yeah.
Nice hooking.
Nice hand, Rania.
She's not ready for the dream to be over. Some people look defeated. She's right in there.
Oh.
Don't call. Despicable call. Ace
That
king
would have
high.
been
You can
bad.
just
Doesn't
fold
even a
that.
pair. What do you think she has?
Yeah. Maybe you can't fold aces
Thank
and
you,
kings,
sir,
but
for
ace
These
the
king.
online guys,
Live.
man.
So Rania Nasreddine
I have to do that one more time.
doubles up. Now playing 23 bigs.
She's not greedy either. All she wants is 46 bigs.
And quads on the flop.
Sure.
Flush draw.
Quads, straight flush, straight, everything, you know?
Everything going.
In this case, I had quads draw.
Everything can happen.
Folded to Rantala. Now to Nagami.
Stars do look fun when they glide on the felt. It's such a weird.
Round to Shylko on the button.
Slide's nice. Can I get 5?
Blind v blind.
Can I give you 20,000?
I feel like you said that
Yeah, that's
Rantala there really, really well. It's like a finish, right?
It is a finish.
So yeah, you have some experience with Finland. You know how to say it.
Kovalski raises small to big. King Queen in the big blind.
Yeah,
This
quite
is
a
annoying.
matchup. Oh, he's jammed. He has jammed. I'm a little surprised at this, but
Wow, Fabio calls.
wow.
Nation.
Wow.
Yeah, and you can just see how differently he values the hand strength of something like King Jack suited for the same amount of chips versus King Queen off when it was early position, big blind. The range is so much wider. You know, you don't want to be folding here and them having pocket fives or ace four or Queen Jack, something like that.
Yeah, and this is now a big old pot.
Yeah.
Okay, got it in very good.
Ooh. Ooh.
Wow, outdraw.
Domination,
Big outdraw.
rotation.
Yeah, and that is a tough break for Mateo. Still cards to come.
You would like to see 10 of clubs.
Wow,
Queen of clubs.
did he call that?
He called it, yeah.
Insane, straight, raw flush draw.
Street flash, question mark?
club or a jack or a 10 for a chop. Big river card here for both players.
Let's see a 10. Oh my days.
7 of clubs. What a dramatic flop, turn, and river, which sees Fabiano Kovalski eliminate Matteo.
It really was, yeah.
Literally every chance it got, it changed.
Very unlucky.
Very unlucky.
Got it in good.
Yeah, well, it's a tough break. We feel for him.
Yeah.
I mean,
If it was GG, it would be Katana.
Yeah. Good with the 7.
it doesn't matter how, like, since before the flop, we all knew it was coming. It's club draws everywhere, like, I mean.
It's true.
Sure, I hit that club drop too.
Yeah, I had Jack 9 of clubs.
He seemed so confident.
How many clubs are in the deck? Like 40.
But action is on Rania Nasreddine, and she opens with kings, and Karabinchik is all in with queens.
Understandably so. Huge hand, but our heroine has him beat.
Whoa.
Oh, she can't even handle it.
Yeah.
Better than a flip
Karabinchik,
this time. Better than a flip.
Disappointed to see he's dominated. Can he get out of jail?
Wow. He is the at-risk player, and he is behind.
Wow, Oliver had a pocket fours in the big blind. by the
He
way.
did indeed.
See that.
He better vise up and realize his equity in future.
4. 5 4s.
Well,
Need fours here?
Karabinchik is going to need to bink a queen on the river.
If none of them wake up, you double up on. I had 3-3.
You threes too? Oh my God. Okay, please hold, please hold, please hold. Please hold.
Karabinchik does not spike a queen. He is KO'd.
You're saying I faded 2 sets and a straight.
F4.
Nice hand, Rania.
He's B blind.
Thank you.
Baby call. No.
Rania back up to around 600K.
You are B blind.
I'm big blind.
He can,
No,
Patrick can lead with his head held high. Nice run.
He was small blind. I was big blind.
folding, he was defending and
54. Feels so close in a tournament like this. Nearly 2,000 entries.
730K now for Rania, close to or over 35 big blinds.
She said she wanted 43.
Okay, well, we'll try and get her there. We'll get her there.
She's on her way.
Yeah, quite nice to be on the good end of 2 coolers there for Rania.
Then I might call.
I know you will call.
So back to the main feature table.
You know, all laughing and fun and games between these guys, but there are some absolute assassins on this table. So
There's
expect
200. Team Denmark.
some good poker.
Okay, we've got kings for Eero Rantala. And he is open to 40K. Ace-7 suited, and I heard the words all in.
Oh, and he's just ripped it.
Called by Rantala.
We need ace.
It's really too bad.
Ace always comes.
So Erceg versus Rantala.
Ace always comes.
Vladimir.
Ace
Well,
always comes.
when you've got kings, there is
always comes.
always an
yeah,
ace on the
2 clubs
desk.
for some
That's what they
extra.
say.
Yeah.
Some tricky way to win. Like 4, 5, 6 and 2 clubs.
Ace of hearts.
But this
I don't want any.
demonstrated like ace.
I want ace.
Only ace he wants.
That's greedy.
Huh?
That's greedy.
No, it's not.
Also, don't you want to river him for max pain?
Oh.
Not looking good for Ace-7.
Backdoor Broadway.
Erceg down to
Knowing every trick
2%.
in the book.
Wow.
need to
How's he got 2%? seems like less than that.
Queen 10.
And there's the queen on the turn, so now he has 9% because he can spike a 10 on the river.
For a 10?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Oh, he thinks he's going to get additional equity by standing up.
And you need to take your back already. Just take it, but not take it completely.
Dreams do come true.
He spikes it! He goes runner, runner.
Hey, you are so nice, guy.
No
You
way,
told me you
dude.
would double up.
Gets outflopped big
sweet
time.
man.
By a
Doesn't
set.
happen.
Catches
PokerStars.
running cards to make a straight.
Insanity.
What a rush.
A big hand at the secondary feature table. We've got Oliver Weiss all in with ace-3. Called by Rania Nasreddine with ace-queen.
Yeah, and that big blind fold of pocket threes, obviously a little bit relevant. I don't think anyone's going to inform Oliver of that. Obviously, we know this can run out of chop.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he overcalled with the threes in the big blind and then folded to Nasreddine's shove. That's why the pot is 465K. He was all in for 145. Pretty sure that's what's going on here. I saw him, it said call 145 and then she went all in, isn't that right? Yeah, he's all in for 145. That would be...
Huge pop.
No, I have it wrong, I think. Yeah, no, 145 would be 290. Plus, that's the 145 you put in from the big. And then folded to her shove with ace-queen. He overcalled in the big.
Well, ace-queen is holding
Is
here.
this many man? That table is a many man.
Help me out, James. Am I right on the math on this?
No, but how did she shove? If she called the 145, what, he re-up?
Because he called in the big with threes, and then she reshoved for 295 more, and he folded. So it's a huge opportunity for her. With the dead money in there.
Well, only one out for Oliver Weiss. By the way, the hand at the main feature table, Lee folded to the bet of 250,000 on the river from Runtala.
Wow, and we didn't think of that eventuality, turning a gut shot.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
wanna look.
one of the best cards. That is the best card
I'll
in the
tell
deck, other than the single 3.
Yeah, and Oliver, a strong player at risk, and it bricks out.
Good luck, guys.
Good game.
That's quite a
Would you have
significant
won?
pot.
Yeah. But if he shoved and then she
What is it?
called,
3-3.
how does she reopen
Threes?
the betting?
Okay.
What?
So
He didn't
yes.
shove.
Yes.
He called from the big blind for 145, and then
No,
she
how?
reshoved.
But Oliver open shoved,
Yes.
145.
And then she called.
Scrappy, guys.
And then-
And then he overcalled 145.
Well, then what did she do? How did
Oh.
how
come
does it
back.
reopen the bluffing betting? That's what I'm saying. Anyway, something weird happened. You know, he would have to 3-bet him shove and then her reshove or something like that. It doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense. But
We're not usually lost on what's going on, but sometimes on an outer table, when we're catching the money in... Yeah, that's strange.
everywhere it seems. You know those tournaments you feel you can't win, like
Yeah.
1Ks and special 500s and WPT. He's the guy that wins them.
Right.
Is how I perceive him.
I figured there was someone.
Yeah.
Had to have been.
Well, just before Joe arrives, guys, I'm going to leave you with this hashtag fun fact. Tim Chung, who we were watching yesterday on the main stage, who is currently the tournament chip leader with 49 players remaining, is taking a seat at the secondary feature table. And obviously
Nice.
we're moving backwards and forwards between the two tables, so I imagine it won't be long until we see Chung in action.
Stay tuned, all you Tim Chung fans.
Yeah, well, you're leading
UK's
the party.
finest.
Yeah.
I was going to say, there is no bigger Tim Chung fan than you, Samuel
I'm
Grafton.
loving it. Huge. My all-time top UK rankings just ahead of Jack Sinclair. But here we go. Big flop.
Quite sick here.
Yeah, Rantala will feel it's almost deceptive, the ace-9. A lot bigger aces sometimes spring into action pre-flop. And Song will picture all the hands he has crushed here. The Queen Jacks, King Queens, 6-7s that can go for value, that you can go for value against. And I don't think Rantala is even perturbed by this bet. He's actually going to be
he's
kind
thrilled.
of enjoying it.
Yeah.
I mean, 850 in play, and it's not, depending on the run out, Song might begin to size up the full amount, and Crossbar can win in a whiff of the outdraw. But the 10 still plays. So he will be negated on an 8 or 6. And I think Song might line up stacks here. He's that type of guy, not afraid to play a big pot, even at this delicate stage of the tournament. Welcome, Joe.
Hello, my babies.
Yeah, indeed. The comedy all-star. Anyway, I'm a bit starstruck by now, having seen you perform last night, but I'm going to get over it. Anyway, Stephen Song goes again on the turn.
Do you think he likes it less now?
No, I think he just thinks this guy's got 5-4, 7-5, you know, Jack 7 of clubs. Well, not Jack 7 of clubs. Like whatever it happens to be, 9-5, you know, of diamond, of spades or whatever. We'll call. It's a real bad spot for Antala. What is the river? Can he get out of jail, the young Finn? Yeah, and that's a great. Stephen's going to really like that card. King Queen is what is a holding, but it doesn't matter. Basically, it's a brick. None of the other aces have outdrawn him. Very occasionally, there's King 6 of diamonds.
Yeah.
But I think for Stephen Song, it's not going to matter. Look at the SPR. He set it up perfectly to go for it all on the river, and that may well be his intention.
This is some.
Having the 10 of diamonds, I don't think we want to go for like a sneaky check, sort of blocks the flush draws that might get this far. I don't know. What does he think? Does he want to put on the brakes? Is the pot big enough? There we go.
The pot is not big enough.
Yeah, and now the first side from Rantala. Song is representing now, over the 3 streets, a hand that beats ace-9. I think ace-7 potentially takes out a street somewhere along the lines.
Yeah, and doesn't always raise pre, probably?
Yes, indeed. That's very well observed, Griff. But what properties do we want? Ace is absolutely key. As we can see, blocking the ace-10, the ace-jack, the ace-8, and such like. Is a 9 a bad card in some way? Is the bluff 9-10, 9-7, 9-5? You know, giving his opponent credit to bluff, but also realizing the enormity of the situation.
And it does strengthen his hand that he, you know, elected to go from a raise for the small blind at this stack depth.
Indeed.
It's usually a pretty strong holding. Sees so much limping from the small blind.
I think I heard him say, I think I'm folding.
Wow. This would be an amazing fold. Look at that, beautiful little hand recap. You see how he sets it up, 90, 190.
There.
Rantala did make the call.
Yes, and understandably, did he? Yeah, and understandably so, and he's out. He is eliminated.
That makes sense.
Wow.
Nice play with you.
Iro Rantala eliminated by Stephen Song in an incredibly difficult spot.
Yeah, and Stephen sort of acknowledging his opponent, sort of understanding he's been on the right end of a cooler as well as he did play it. I think also, yeah, it's just understandable. I mean, put it this way, if ace-9 folds...
when you said, I don't think I can fold this to you.
He said, I don't think I can fold it.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the jackets?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, of course. It's Spraggy season, you know? You know, every now and again they pick some era or some iconic person from the past.
It was Brad Summer and it's Spraggy Autumn.
Exactly. Everyone's going to be hanging out in the Cotswolds. These girls aren't going to Cannes or Positano any longer. They're heading to Cirencester and Stroud.
Kovalski with an opportunity to defend his button here. Gonna go with the flat against the hijack range of Shylko.
Stephen Song with a suited ace.
Yeah, and we saw him bump it up with ace-5, but here, as Shylko's perhaps a little shorter, or perhaps the properties of the 6 decides to just call. So, of course, these top guys employ some randomization as well. sorts of things. And it's
Ace-6 tray.
Kovalski.
It's Stephen Song Summer here in Barcelona. Shylko does have a heart working for him. And a club, by the way, to block the back door. I think that's just giving him pause for thought. You don't always check to imposition here. And will bet out. You know, really attuned to the properties and suits of his hand. And it's interesting because if it had checked to Kovalski and he'd bet, I believe Song would always just have called.
140.
Oh, he's raised. He's raised a little unconventional from the great man. And this C-bet from Shylko setting off a chain reaction where there's now 330 in the pot as it comes round to Stephen Song. How do we continue from the big blind? Do we have calls and raises? Do we play only calls? Do we play only raises? What's the size? This is a very unusual spot to face bet and raise in front of you. There's no, you know, I don't think that, maybe it's just my lack of knowledge. I don't think there's an exact orthodoxy. Kovalski's raise a little out of line, actually, in some manner with this ace-10. If I had to guess, I would imagine Stephen will put in a bit more money.
325.
So it's not only calls.
And it's not a significantly large size. I mean, 140 to 325. You know, we're not talking about a 3x raise to, you know, 420. We're talking about only another 185,000 chips after putting in 140. If Kovalski thinks he can do this with something like a 5-7 of hearts, maybe he needs to continue sometimes.
I'd love to see Kovalski just fall. I mean, he's messed it. He's messed this himself up here a little bit.
Sometimes that's all it takes is just one street of just maybe drawing a little outside the lines.
Yes, good way to put it. I mean, this is
can throw you off course, right?
Yeah, is getting a great price. But if we imagine some of the other hands we're up against, 3s, 6s.
Yeah, hands you're drawing basically dead against.
Yeah. No backup. You feel a little stupid raise folding. And he will call.
Makes the call.
Getting stubborn in position.
This pot is getting huge.
Yeah, Stephen Song's reputation preceding him a little bit here as well.
There's 40 big blinds in there. And it's another 6 on the turn. That's a full house
Such
for
an
Song.
interesting card. It's like good and bad for...
Well, it's negated, right? He only calls 6-3 suited, right? So there's 1 6-3. Pocket sixes is down to 1 combo. And if I had to guess, wow. I mean, it's a real problem for Kovalski because the value combos have been lowered.
Plummeted.
And now we kind of can see the 4 5s of hearts, 4 deuce of hearts, and such like. And I wonder if Stephen even comes with check here. It's a very interesting card. Also, ace-3 is negated, by the way. So say Stephen had ace-3.
Now ace-10's ahead.
Now ace-10's ahead. So a really bad card for Stephen's range and a great card for Stephen's actual hand as he locks up the equity. Kovalski, and I do understand this check. Now he's not worried about his opponent making a flush. 840K in the middle. As 2 of the top players in this tournament, maybe even in the world, go eyeball to eyeball. Absolutely love it. This would be a big hand early in the tournament with 45 left.
And do we ever see some sort of... No, we're going to see the check from Kovalski, which makes complete sense.
Here comes the river. It's the 9.
Yeah, and Kovalski lucky not to hit a 10. And now what size does Song want to go? If we imagine that his range is composed of ace-6, 3s full, and 4-5 of hearts, potentially a big size might make sense. But on the other hand, I mean, it's just a very unusual hand.
Over under 600?
Yeah, I don't know.
Quickly.
Over.
Okay, Sam, you have under.
Yeah, I think he'll go over 600, but
nope, too late.
Yeah, I mean, he's...
You guys can both have over.
It's a very...
I'll take under.
You know...
275.
Oh, wow. He makes the bet that
it wasn't.
I'm a little surprised at this. I guess
It's
it's
the
that if we
milk
have 4 or 5 of hearts, we just want to fold out King, Queen of hearts.
Yeah.
I don't know whether Kovalski's...
Griffin, are you saying that behind the third door is a milking machine that doesn't stop till it gets 50 gallons?
I don't know the reference, sorry.
It's from training days. My guy
It's been a while.
He pays. He pays.
I mean, he made a bet that made it very likely to get called.
Yeah. And
with that hand, Steven Song has more than 4 million chips, has more than 200 big blinds.
King Queen suited's a pretty hand. Nasreddine's gonna open this one up, of course. Just the mid-raise. Oh my goodness, you have 25 big blinds. You're in the small blind with kings.
It raises 160,000.
Oh, how is Rania going to respond to this 3-bet? Well, actually, what Mark Telcher does is going to have a huge bearing on what she does.
Oh yeah, this is a tricky one.
So she opened to 50K. Mavritsakis has made it 160K.
Yeah, and I think the thing to note here, James, is Mavritsakis is in the small blind against a UTG +2 open. How often is he 3-bet bluffing here? Off of a 25 big blind stack. It's just not all that frequent, right? So how strong are these 10s all of a sudden? Because it's very easy to convince yourself that, you know, you're going to have the best hand pre-flop, but I don't know. There's something about this particular positional dynamic and the stack depths. This is a very technical spot. I'd love to see Telcher lay this one down.
I'm all in.
He's all in.
Well, that saves Rania from a difficult decision.
Yeah.
She can fold the king, queen, but Mavritsakis will call. He will be the at-risk player, but he will be ahead in this all-in confrontation.
Oh, is it? Oh, it's a slow all in.
A slow call, you meant for me? I want to take, you know. It's 10.
King, queen of hearts.
Yeah, rough spot for Mark Telcher, though. Totally understandable that he would decide to run with his hand. Just such a weird lineup there. The action really not helping him out. But we're going to a flop.
King, queen of hearts looking all right now. As things stand in this confrontation, Mavritsakis is near enough a 9-1 favorite. Mark Telcher looking for a 10 on the turn or river. Two outs for Telcher, 2 cards for Mavritsakis to fade to survive. It's a 4. Kings hold. That's a double up for Mavritsakis, and it sees Mark Telcher drop down to 675K, now playing fewer than 30 big blinds.
Yeah, and like I said, it's a really, really tough one for Mark Telcher. Certainly not suggesting that.
Jack Sinclair, I think, being balanced off the feature table.
Rania not only crushing, but also managing the stage to a certain degree. We got a phone here. He's still mic'd up. He's got a watch on.
I like it.
Everything you have is jade. You noticed that about Mr. Jianwei's items as well.
So Chung's raise flattered by Nasreddine in the big blind with 10-9, and there is a 6 and a 9 on the flop. Rania 4-1 favorite here.
So Rania with 39 big blinds behind is the shallower of the two stacks, but at this stage, James, I would go so far as to say that 40 big blinds is relatively deep.
So she has checked to Tim Chung, who continues into a pot of 135,000. He bets 105,000. She quickly calls, taking us to the turn.
Yep, and why not?
That turn card is the 4 of spades. Rania Nasreddine now near enough a 9-1 favorite.
Yep, and Chung does have showdown here. Probably doesn't want to go barreling off and do a king or a 9. Might elect just to check the turn, or I imagine you're kind of turning your 6 into a bluff. I suppose there is still the opportunity to get value from hearts and from straight draws, though, so it's not completely ridiculous to have another shot here.
Fires a second barrel, 300,000. Rania going nowhere, makes the call.
Very quick call there on the turn.
Well, this pot's getting a little bit big. 945,000. Deuce on the river.
Brick City.
Okay, she checks a third time. Is Chung going to fire a third barrel here? He has got a little bit of showdown value, but maybe he thinks a 6 is no good.
I think it would be highly unusual to not try and show down a 6 here when you are beating a lot of those combo draws that I was just describing, the hearts, the straight draws, or indeed just one of them. But he's going to go for it.
Wow. He bets enough to put Rania Nasreddine all in, and she now has to decide whether to call for her tournament life with second pair, and she does.
She does it.
She doesn't even use a time bank card, pretty much snaps it off.
The absolute pace of that hand, James. Call, call, call.
Misread my hand.
Chung saying he misread his hand.
No, king 6. Bib 9. Thought you had king 6 of diamonds.
10 jack.
Chung saying he misread his hand.
But can't name what hand he thought he misread? I don't understand.
What a call by Rania Nasreddine, which catapults her back up to 2.1 million, 84 big blinds. She was down and almost out earlier. She was down to 210K. She had fewer than 10 big blinds. Action starts with Rania Nasreddine, 7-4 under the gun. She folds. Lin Jianwei. Queen 3. No. Pablo de Heredia folds.
He's getting up.
He's not at risk, according to what
Tim Chung with the snowmans raises to 50,000.
No.
He's putting his jacket on. Putting his jacket on. No, look.
Aces for Mark Telcher.
That doesn't mean he lost. He does it just, it's part of his shtick.
Telcher here, 26 big blinds, James. I do think we 3-bet not all in here.
He's so fun to play with.
I'm thinking like
He's
150,
so nice.
160 is probably around the size we use. Let's see how Mr. Mark feels.
You guys are having
Goes a little
too
bit bigger,
much fun.
180.
Again?
Yeah, again. We're like, okay.
But when we were in the feature table, it was
You guys were having fun.
Chung is a pretty aggressive player.
I doubled up, calling with like a middle pair. It's like, yes!
That's it?
Yeah, I don't know, James. I feel like Chung might just get this in pre-flop.
This is going to be a 4-bet jam. You can see it.
It just feels like it, doesn't it? And honestly, I think it's probably totally fine against an aggressive player like Telcher. And it is aces and eights.
Yeah, jams on Telcher, who snaps with aces. And Mark Telcher is set for the double up.
Hold.
All in call feature.
This will be 80%, 20% in Teltra's favor.
Let's see a super sexy flop, like ace, ace, 8. Ace, 8, 8. Ace, ace, 8. Ace, ace, 8.
Rania wants it sexy.
It's all 8.
Oh, there's an 8!
Wow.
A set for Chung.
运气不错，运气不错。
And Teltra now drawing to 2 outs.
We go home.
Ace.
Quad 8.
Okay, thank you very much. I enjoyed myself.
On the turn, Mark Teltra, a former EPT champion, eliminated in 41st place. That's going to take us down to 40. That's going to take us down to the final 5 tables.
Quad 8s.
We are done for day 4.
Death by quads, James. Can you believe it? Rania asked for sexy. Quads are pretty
I called
sexy.
quads. I just was hoping for
My telephone.
He was short stacked.
Well, Chung got a lot of
Guess you
chips
didn't have
back
to pay
there.
the big blind. Guess you didn't have to pay the big blind.
Close to being
right.
东西不是这个牌的，
Wow.
这个牌维亚是这个女的把自己叫死，我说你接那么多还叫 S。
From 210K, I'm like,
And Timothy Chung, the benefactor of those chips. 101 big blinds now, running hot.
He is back up. And he will be bagging and coming back for day 5, along with everyone else at our feature table, along with the 39 other players who've made the top 40 from 1,975 entries.
6 of diamonds.
I don't think you misread your hand. I think you just thought I was on the flush draw and you're like, my 1 pair is good.
I'm just going to open Jack 6 of diamonds in the high draw. I mean, I could, but
You had all the chips.
I wasn't going to this one.
Well, thank God works in mysterious ways.
It is what it is. Yeah, whatever. Thank you. It's what no sleep happens.
So still 3 days to go. Tomorrow playing down to 16. Saturday playing down to the final 6. Sunday playing down to a champion.
Yeah.
It's a bit difficult to get
Yeah,
used
and there are
to.
the bags,
But I usually
guys.
double check as well, so it's
Must
really
be a great feeling bagging for another day of cards tomorrow.
Bag and tag.
Oh, shit.
Run good, Rania. Love to see it. What a roller coaster it's been over the last couple days, but she goes again.